Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're joining us from. Again, welcome to a brand new season of the Hard Zone. On the Hard Zone, we try to keep our conversation free from any bias, and just by way of disclaimer, all of the opinions and positions that will be offered on this network and this podcast and that is not the official position of the network, but that of the individual panelists that will be offering them.
Having 4 people on the back of a taxi driver, you want to compare it with 6 people on the back of a motorcycle? Come on, bro, Sharif.
Donald Trump was a former president. His words are very powerful. You can't just accuse an entire community like that. It's wrong.
Listen, Walker, I was one of those people that he actually told me face to face in his home that I would declare my asset. I would make sure my officials declare their asset. In today's date, something as simple as that has not been done.
We are working. We are not going to allow distractor to have the opportunity for 6 years and they never did anything besides stealing the Liberian people money.
We have to be honest here. This old man is one of the incompetent old men that I have ever seen.
We need to have someone who has the educational background as well as the field experience to be able to provide oversight.
All of what Kamala is promising now, the last 4 years, why haven't they done anything? She and Joe Biden.
Look, church leaders, if Liberia will be better, you must play your role.
It is too early to criticize Waka because it is the formation stage.
Again, I'm your host. My name is Derek Yale, and let's get started. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, wherever you're joining us from. Let me say welcome to the Liberia Radio and Television Network. If this is the first time joining us, the Liberia Radio and Television Network is a local media institution right here in Northeast Philadelphia, and we'll have our office open in Liberia for business as well. So make sure you check us out on Facebook, and that is the Liberia Radio and Television Network, or LRTN Live for short. And we also have this podcast streaming live on YouTube, SIM Network, the Liberia Radio and Television Network, and we have our page on Instagram as well. So make sure you're following us on each and every platform. And we have a website where we publish our development from in Liberia and the diaspora from different news outlets. So make sure you check us out at lrtn.net for resources in Liberia and the diaspora. With that being said, the Liberia Radio and Television Network is proud tonight to present another episode of The Hard Zone. That is episode 9 of season 7. My name is Derek Yale, and I will be playing host tonight on episode 9 of season 7. And just by way of introduction, if this is your first time being here, if this is your first episode of The Hard Zone, The Hard Zone is an opinion-based talk show where we feature a team of panelists from different political ideology, persuasions, different political institutions. But here on The Hard Zone, there's no gimmick, no fluff, just real talk. Again, before I go any further, if you're watching us right now, let me encourage all of you, please, to follow this network and make sure you're sharing this program on your individual social media pages so that you, your friends, and family may be able to benefit from what we have in store tonight. Very shortly, I will introduce my panelist lineup for this episode. But before I do that, let me just give you a breakdown of what to expect. Usually, we will bring you our current events, but we do not have much in the current event folder because we're coming on very late. So we will introduce our panelists, and then afterward, we will have an open panel discussions where we will look at issues happening in Liberia and the diaspora and ask our panelists to give you their position or opinions on issues happening in Liberia. And as you know, or may not know, there are a lot of things been going on in Liberia. President Boakai, we see he's been doing a lot of reshuffling in his administration. So we see on the executive mansion page today that he recalled election commissioners, and we have seen other officials of his government being terminated from government, and other issues been going on in Liberia as well. And here in the U.S., President Donald Trump is doing pretty much the same reshuffling in his administrations that intends up. There's been a lot of trade back and forth between the U.S., China, and that of Canada. So if you're following those events, tonight, hopefully we'll have our panelists give you their opinions on that. We will take a couple of breaks. After our final break, we will ask our panelists to wrap up for the night, where they will give you their closing remarks, and then we will draw the curtain to this one, and then we will see you on another episode. But before I go any further, and before I introduce my panelists again, let me ask all of you watching us to please follow this network and make sure you are sharing this program on your Facebook page. Make sure you're sharing it on YouTube. Make sure you're sharing it on Instagram. Make sure you're also checking our webpage at the LRTN.net. Again, guys, my name is Derek Yadi. I am playing host here tonight. With that being said, let me introduce my panelists lineup for this episode. I have Mr. Prince Sharif, Mr. Martin Boda, Mr. Agnew Brown, and Mr. Ja Winkin Weir. And hopefully more panelists will be joining us as the show progresses. But I'd like to start with you, Mr. Prince Sharif. Welcome to another episode.
All right. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you for giving us the opportunity to be on here. And let me say hi to the panelists and also to the audience. Thank you so very kindly. We are here to do the usual. We are here in defense of our nation against some of the, the ills that have been perpetrated by this government. So we are here to ensure that the necessary checkpoint to ensure that our peace and democracy is in one piece, is kept safe. That's what we are here for. So again, we want to also appeal to the audience. Follow us, like the page, share the page, and let's interact. Interact with the discussion in the comment section. We'll look at your comments, and we'll also be able to, have a take on it too. So thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you very much. It's good having you back on again, Mr. Sharif. I would like to hear from you now, Mr. Ja Winkin Weir. Welcome to another episode.
Thank you, Derek, Sharif, Boda, Brown. Let's do it, guys.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Mr. Agnew Brown, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Derek. It's always a pleasure to be here. And I hope everything goes good today. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. Mr. Martin Boda, I see you got that smile on your face. I'm coming to you. But let's hear from you. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. And I want to say good evening to my fellow panelists. And I hope that we have a fruitful discussion for our Liberian people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Boda. And guys, like I announced to our audience, we will feature open panel discussion style tonight. I know you guys have been following recent developments in Liberia and the diaspora. I know in Liberia, the president just arrived from Addis Ababa this week. And we've been seeing a lot of movement in this administration, and also we also see a lot of movement in the legislature with lawmaker Yeke Koloba Kai being damaged at the order of the lawmaker. I don't know if I should say speaker because his speakership is unconstitutional. But you guys have followed that development and other things happening in Liberia and diaspora. I don't want to hold you guys to one topic or two or three group of topics. So I'd like to have feature open panel discussion tonight. You guys tell me what you want to talk about, and then we'll have our discussion from there. So, Mr. Martin Boda, I would like for you to get us started here. Let's see where we go with this. Mr. Boda.
Yes, sir.
Talk to us. What's going on? What's going on with your administration?
I think it's important if every administration that when you need to evaluate your leadership, your officials, staff. In any good organization, evaluation is very key to your success. So I think it's a healthy thing that President Boakai is evaluating his team, seeing his strengths and weaknesses, and he needs to make some of those shuffle and some of the things that he's doing. I think it's a healthy thing to do for a vibrant institution. If you want your institution or your government, whatever businesses you run, you want to be able to have some checks and balance. And that is after a year or after a given period of time, you review your status, are you moving in the direction that you promised or what you want to do? Have you achieved the goals? So that's important. With that being said, Mr. Boakai is doing the normal thing that I think a leader should be doing. So it's good. It's good that we have those moving people around or firing people or people who are not following through with what they should have done. It's critical for your success, And there are a lot of things going on in the global society. America here, we see Donald Trump taking some executive actions. Some which had an adverse effect on us as an American who has in America, whatever decision he takes. So, making decisions sometimes, you want to show that you got strength and you taking some hard decisions, but you got to also evaluate it. If you realize right now the global economy is the market is shaking, the market is not steady, it's not stable, because there's fear of what next between America, China, Canada, and the rest of the world, what's going to happen, the Ukraine situation. So there are a lot of stuff going on, and we have to be mindful, got to watch around, so we need to pay attention, so it's not just taking executive action, but did you think this thing through, and so forth. And I hope that Africa is watching and preparing themselves for the challenges ahead of them, because it's been too long and so long that Africa has just sitting dormant and waiting for a handout. I think we need to rethink about it and see where America is getting her strength, how they build our economy and what they're doing. I think we can do the same thing and become a better nations. So I would hope that Liberia would learn from some of these playbooks around the world and see how we can move our country forward instead of just playing the same old politics. Just me and myself and my family, which are not helping in any way or shape or form. So I want to stop for now and let other people come in and see what they have to offer.
Thank you, Mr. Buddha. And I like the fact that you touched on quite a few very sensitive topics now, especially the one about Boakai, President Boakai reshuffling his administration. I would love for us to talk about that part where he kind of suspended those that haven't submitted their assets. I'm sorry, they why haven't supported their assets and submitted their assets. I think he suspended them. I'd love for us to get into that more, to talk more about that. But Mr. John Winkin, let's hear from you.
Okay. Thank you, Derek. A lot is going on around the world, beginning with America. The days of Trump has returned. Right now, what we are seeing in America is that we have a president who talks about quid pro quo, the same thing for which he was impeached. He doing the same thing with Ukraine, demanding 50% of their mineral before America can continue with any support. In addition to that, you already surrender. Speaking on behalf of Russia, that the Ukrainian people should forfeit all the land captured by force by Russia. He also stated that Ukraine should forget about a membership of NATO. Exact same thing Putin has been saying. Not only that, I saw a lot of people who talk about rule of law, but we are seeing executive order every day and night in violation of the Constitution, even appropriations that were made through and out of the legislature. Trump is disobeying all of this stuff. But as I said before, the second Trump term is meant to teach America a lesson. Having said that, back to Liberia. Aside from Liberia, the whole of Africa, they researched a few days. Without the resources of Africa, I mean natural resources, we will have no America, we will have no Europe. The phone, the plane, the equipment, everything that we talk about, the resources are from Africa. Natural resources are from Africa. The only thing we need to do, we as Africans, is to try to make these resources in the finished product. I know it is difficult to do, but we can do a framework by beginning to, I wrote an article on that, by beginning, we as African, using one currency that will be called Afro in my piece. We can also introduce the usage of a single passport. Then, of course, since we are into zones, we use that system. For every zone, there should be a consortium of experts to evaluate the resources. But for any material from Africa, the Western world should be demanded to use the Afro money, which will be our single currency. At the same time, we need to adapt from the Western world. What do I mean by that? In the West, for any child to go to school in this country, that responsibility does not only lies with the parents. The government is involved from ABC to 12th grade, monitor the child and making sure that child, when that child is so smart, up to university level. Because when that child discover or invent anything, they say made in America. We as continent, we as Africa, we can also do it. As I speak to you today, iron ore is still leaving Liberia raw. Why can't we mix the raw too? Why can't we even make tire when we have the single largest rubber plantation in the world? So Africa, the world is just a garden and eating. The Bible says everything was on the face of the earth. Everything was in that garden, and God commanded Adam and Eve to go out and look for what was there. We are refusing to look for what is in the garden that as God commanded. I know we adapted the Bible, we adapted everything, the lifestyle of living as Africa. Why haven't we adapted the spirit of manufacturing and innovation instead of adapting only the lifestyle of African, the religious thing? It's nothing bad about it, but we need to adapt that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jawin Kinwe. I definitely will come back to you to get more out of what you just said. Can Africa really sustain herself, especially given the psychological nature to be corrupt amongst our leader? If so, how soon can we expect for Africa to reap the benefit if they were putting any plan? I'll come back to you for you to develop that for me if you don't mind. Mr. Sheriff, let's hear from you.
Yeah, there are several issues on our plate that we've been thinking about. One has to do with the explosion that our people experience at the Seti Brothers facility. Again, it's unfortunate, and these are some of the things that we're talking about. When you have a government that claims to be very, very experienced, but instead of looking at what is of priority and prioritizing the people's priority, leaving it, and they after themselves, these are some of the, the unfortunate situations, circumstances that can happen. We saw that lives, were taken away by that explosion that happened at Seti's brother. And we know that government is not going to do nothing substantive in order to ensure that, people who were affected, they are adequately compensated, and the right funds or whatever mechanism as it relates to, the environment or whatever that is put in place. We know that will not be done. But we voice it out, we speak against it. And we also look at the reckless behavior of the junta spokesperson in presence of Richard Kuhn, who is taking a direct instruction from Mr. Boyka and that of the Vice President, Jeremiah Kuhn. We saw what happened at the level of the most honorable house is supposed to be. That is, the House of Red. We saw what happened there, where you see, a junta regime speaker, one who in any serious country now should be behind bar. We saw him giving order that people should take a drill from in his car to spoil another lawmaker car. This is just to tell us the level of recklessness and the level of lawlessness that our nation has degenerated into. But again, you can't blame these people because they have this direct support and the blessings of a 42-year-old man who says he's very experienced and have come to rescue our country. So we are not surprised, but we will continue to flag out these things. And the next issue has to do with the brutality against the motorcyclists. We saw of recent, and let's just say we condemn every form of violence in our nation. We believe that we should all use the legal process to challenge a system. But again, we are seeing a serious onslaught by the government on motorcyclists. Motorcyclists have been brutalized by members of the Boyka regime under the disguise of the Liberian National Police. But we know these people are thugs, and we know that they are a bunch of hooligans who are just only using the uniform to cover their evil act. We're seeing how, they are carrying on acts of brutality against motorcyclists, even against peaceful citizens. Of some, death that has been going on in police station. Can you imagine? In a police station, we have counted about 8 deaths where people died in police withholding cell, if one would say, if you will not want to use the police station. These are things that we are very, very concerned about. And also, the brutality that have been muted against some government official, against the people of Liberia, and the perpetual silence of Mr. Boyka in the midst of all of these things that are happening. You all know that hospitals now is refusing patients. Patients are now being refused by a government hospital because of the lack of drugs. And Mr. Boyka said that there are drugs in the various hospitals. So these are things that we have on our plate, but we will play according to, the tone that you have here. Thank you for giving us the opportunity. So these are just few things that are on our mind.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Sheriff. One thing I would like to highlight is the silence of Mr. Boyka, as you mentioned. There's so many things I haven't seen, like an official statement from the president himself. So I'd like for us to get more into why is the president not saying or speaking on these issues or as they happen in Liberia. But I'll come back to you, Mr. Sheriff, so we can talk about some of the things you mentioned. Before we get to you, Mr. Brown, let me recognize the president of Bishop Reeves. Bishop Reeves, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Hi, guys. Hi, everybody.
Everyone doing well. You see everybody in militant face, But let's hear from you, Mr. Brown.
Yeah. Thank you, Derek. So I would like to speak on a few things that Mr. Martin and like everybody already spoke about here, pretty much. But firstly, I mean, I'm disappointed in Mr. Boyka. I'm disappointed in him, but we also have to shine lights on some of the things he's doing in regards to 450 government officials that failed to declare their assets. He put them in question. He suspended them. That's, in my opinion, is a good thing. We did not see that in the past election the past government for 6 years. We never see anybody got audited. I think that's a good thing for the country. We're trying to fight corruptions, anti-corruption, and we like to see that happen most often, But other than that, I think that was the only positive things I would give him so far. But the silence when people are dying, we need the president to speak about that. The hospital do not have 24-hour electricity. We need something like that to change. We need that to change. And the city hall, that's one of the most prestige building, and we have that building every day. Is some type of fight or something going on. There will never be a day that you will look on social media at these people having a conversation or making a law that will protect Liberians, that will protect the people that put them in power. So I mean, this is where the president have to speak about things. I understand there's some things that he cannot do, but speaking about these things can make the citizens at least at ease on those things. So I feel like policy development. The government is doing policy development. The things already there that they are doing. There's nothing really significant that Mr. Bwaka is doing. And like I said, the only thing I would really give him is the 450 government officials that he's have been questioned, and things like that. But other than that, I'm very, very disappointed in his government, and I'm hoping that things will change soon. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. Several government officials being suspended for not declaring their assets. You mentioned that never happened in the previous administration, and President Bwaka, and also you talk about the issue at the legislature. President Bwaka should or must speak. Well, again, one can wonder why would President Bwaka speak if he's buddy with the unconstitutional speaker. And so again, that's something like Brempo may wonder. But again, I'm just here to ask the question. Bishop Reese, let's hear from you. You're on mute.
And what was your question, sir?
Oh, I'm sorry, you just joining us, but we're featuring an open panel discussion tonight. So whatever it is in the diaspora or in Liberia that caught your attention this week, if you would like to shine light on it, I'll give you the opportunity to do so.
Oh, I'm very excited. This is what I would say. Well, just coming at till end of what some of the brothers were saying. If you look at what has gone on in Burkina Faso for just 2 years, if you look at what is going on in America just within 1 month, I can clearly tell you that Liberia, we are a joke. A big joke. The government need to step up. The president need to step up. The legislature need to step up. The judiciary need to step up. All of them, we need to overhaul. We need a clean up in our country right now. Look how just 1 month, look at what President Trump has done. I don't care what people can say about what's going on. He is cleaning house. If you look at, take it from the African perspective, Ibrahim Traore, just 2 years. Look at the tremendous thing that he has done. Ibrahim right now, they're building electric cars. Burkina Faso, that was earmarked as one of the poorest and whatever you can think about. In 2017, the Chinese government had 2 drones that went over Liberia to do a sweep over Liberia to look at our mineral resources. I have all of that information, and I can even show you newspaper article, Daily Observer, at that time in 2017 when they did it. From the time they did that sweep to determine what minerals and stuff we have in our country, nobody said anything about it. In fact, it was when she was going out, the whole of George Weah government, nobody said anything about that thing. And we alerted people that, look, this is what has happened with the Chinese government, and this is what they've done. The findings are there. We told some of the leaders, you guys go and check so that you can see what they found in our country. They sat there and nobody did anything. just recently, Joseph Boakai then went and they pulled out that information. Yes, we have uranium at commercial quantity. We have cobalt, we have titanium. All of these minerals that we need that can rebuild our country in no time. We have these minerals there. But they just brought it up. What's going to happen? What is happening now? Look at the iron ore that these guys are taking out of the country, Salamitau. Within the iron ore they're getting out, they also have zinc and they have aluminum. They told the Liberian government, okay, we have this stockpile of zinc and aluminum. What you want to do with it? Up till now, nobody have come up with any idea to say, let Liberian government do this with it. The stockpile is there. I'm speaking in terms of the mineral resources that we have in our country, that we are able to turn this thing around in no time. That is why I said what we're doing is a joke. When you look at Burkina Faso and you look at what Trump is doing. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Reeves. Before I respond to what you say, Mr. Boda, let me recognize the presence of Councilor Fremont. Councilor Fremont, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me, Derek. Good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, Mr. Fremont.
Thank you for joining.
How you doing?
I'm doing good, sir. I'm doing good.
Yeah.
The Bishop here on fire. But anyways, we're just for by way of information, we're doing an open panel discussion tonight. So whatever caught your attention this week in Liberia and the diaspora, we'll come back to you so you can just talk to us, share light on what you think happened or what caught your attention this week in Liberia and the diaspora. Mr. Boda, let me come back to you, and I want to bring this to you because Bishop Reeves literally said the country Liberia is a joke. And you always seem to have like in the middle, sometimes you're leaning towards the administration, sometimes you say, oh, it's a new administration, let's give the president time, let's do X, Y, and Z, let's be understanding, let's look at the positives. But I want to say there's something Mr. Bishop Reeves said that I want you to kind of just to compare and contrast the difference. I mean, America is a way bigger nation, we understand, but in 1 month, what President Trump has been able to achieve, I mean, there has been controversy regardless. He's been able to accomplish some things, and even in Burkina Faso, where he mentioned, we see a president getting power starts to take actions that directly or indirectly affects the lives of the Liberian of their people. Well, in Liberia, when you compare that and contrast that with Boakai administration, it seems like we're always making progress in the past. We're always like comparing Boakai achievement to that of the previous administration, and we're not looking for something new that he's doing that we all can like point out and say, oh yes, he's doing the X, Y, and Z. We can kind of how do you compare achievement with what Bishop Reeves said to that of the Boakai administration in light of the Liberian people who have been?
You're trying to compare achievement with Burkina, America, and Liberia? Is that where we're going?
I'm trying to compare the leadership.
Well, there is a lot that Boakai have failed to do. So I want to sit there and say, hey, Boakai came into power and he started similar thing that Trump is he had an agenda. They wanted to fight corruption. They were going to audit. They established the commission for some corruption. They were supposed to asset recovery. The asset recovery team. They established he affirmed the work code. That he was moving in that direction. They started to audit whatever. But all of a sudden, everything just went mute.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Do you agree? Let me just ask you a direct question. Do you agree with Bishop Reeves when he said Liberia is a joke? Do you agree with?
No, quite certainly, Liberia is not a joke. There's no mistake about it.
Why do you? Why
The
do you?
nation of Liberia is certainly a complete joke in many fronts. So I'm not going to disagree with what he said with Liberia. Liberia is a joke. I mean, who would disagree with Liberia being a joke?
Thank you, bro. Thank you very much. Councilor Freeman, I'd like to come to you now so you can talk to us about shine light on what you find interesting or concerning in Liberia and the diaspora.
I mean, the bishop is right, and I'm glad to see that Martin is actually at a point where now he can acknowledge. You see, I mean, it's so clear, right? That no one have to trying to be political about this. Joseph Boakai came in. I mean, Mr. Martin said that he came in, he started doing all kind of things. I don't think he started anything, frankly. I think prior to coming to office, Boakai made all these promises, right? And he hasn't done anything about it. Some may say, well, he started the asset recovery. That's a joke. You don't take people who have no experience from the street and say they're going to recover millions of dollars potentially, right? You need expertise. I remember when the WE administration came into office, there was allegation of money that was siphoned from the central bank, former President Ellen's son. And the WE administration hired Pro Discovery from here. Those guys came, they were experts. They came to do their work. In the case of Joseph Boakai, he got people from his party he wanted to give jobs to and said they are going to collect, assets from the streets. They didn't work. That was a joke. With regards to the declaration of asset, we now see that he says he suspended 400 people. That is a complete joke. Boakai himself came into office. It took months later before he claimed he disclosed his asset. Yet the public has no clue as to what he owns. I said it before. The intent of that law is transparency. You cannot claim you declare your asset if people don't know what's in it. You're not being transparent. That's a joke. Now, a year later, he's claiming that he suspended people because they have not declared the asset. The whole thing is a joke. So Liberians need to come to a point where they make a more informed decision as to, electing the right kind of people. I think we've been really deficit when it comes to electing good people in Liberia. That's part of our problem. We saw it during the WE administration. Now we're seeing it during the Boakai administration. And it's a vicious circle. And this is not about being political. WE administration was very deficient in the same way Boakai is very deficient. And the Liberian people need to make a choice. With regards to the U.S., something caught my attention. There was an incident that happened in New York where a bunch of officers allegedly beat an inmate to death. Today, the New York governor, they were arrested and they're being prosecuted. I think that's a good thing. As far as from the federal government standpoint, we all know what's happening in America. I hope that things simmer down. A lot of people are being impacted by it. I hope the Trump administration, start the process of making a turn in the right direction.
Thank you very much, Councilor Freeman. Bishop smiling like he won't respond to because soon you talk about Trump administration.
I know that's where Bishop lies.
The worst ever in history.
I will come back to you.
Look, okay.
I'll come back to you. Let's hear from Mr. Sherry. If I was going to come to you, but I will come to you since it's hard. Let's hear from Bishop Reeves. I will come to you next.
Okay, so let me tell you something. I am so excited about what is happening in America right now. And let me tell you, I realized that there have been so much corruption in our system. They have been using all of the different arms of the government that's supposed to cater to people. They've been using those areas to hide money and siphon money through those areas. the area of healthcare, for our elderly, area of healthcare, the area of USAID. They have been using all of these major places that will help the people. They've been using these places and siphoning money through there to do all kinds of corrupt things. And they are pulling it out. I don't care what you say, they will pull all of them out. It's sad that they are suspending some of the programs that will help people.
No.
It's sad that they are
no
suspending
verification.
My friend, keep quiet. Let me finish talking. When I finish, then you can talk. Yes, it's sad that some of these it's going to affect some people. Yes, but I want them to clean house. Yes, something that will happen for something to happen in America. It will happen. Thank you, sir.
Let's hear from Mr. Jawinki. I'll come to you.
Bishop, sorry to say that. I feel sorry for you. Sorry to say that.
Clean the system.
What are you talking about? Do we have a king now?
I can reiterate if you want me to.
No. I'm saying, do we have a king now? We have a man who is not answering about anybody. Here is a fact. Elon Musk, from the time come to power, he get about 700 billion. He getting 8 million every day. But he's taking away somebody who is surviving on $65. He and Trump gave him 10 million because they say you are removed from what? From Twitter during the other pre-administration and pay him back. Trump is asking Ukraine 50% of their mineral co to get money. This is not democracy. Nobody, hold on. You were saying nobody is against Trump to clean what he wants, but we have check and balances in this country. There is a verification. You cannot use one man who was never elected to use the system to see in the whole world to verify something. It can be one person. Somebody got to corroborate with what you are saying. Anybody can get somewhere and post and list and post something up for people to see. So that does not mean it is right.
Just something very simple for you to understand. Donald Trump, everything he said that he was going to do when he was running his campaign, he ran his campaign that he was going to form DOG. He ran his campaign and said he was going to persecute corruption. Everything he said he was going to do, and the American people voted for it. Now that they voted for it overwhelmingly, he's moving and doing it. Then you're complaining.
Thank you.
Let me tell you.
Mr. Chadwick,
you didn't know how to put Trump picture down there. You don't know how to put
Trump cannot be a player and referee at the same time. It never worked. You cannot be a player and referee at the same time.
Mr. Whatever work or not, he doing what he says he was doing.
No,
thank you.
That's what we've been saying.
Thank you.
Work or not, whether it's the truth or not, whether it's a good or bad, he's doing exactly what he says he was going to do during the election.
Finish.
You are not. It's talking about corruption. But what I'm saying is that you can. Okay, how can Trump and somebody compete about contract?
We're not competing. We're cleaning house. We're cleaning house. You have said nothing about the corruption that we are finding. All the money they are using for sex change and all of this. Y'all have said nothing about it. You're only talking about Elon Musk. Elon Musk doing this. Elon Musk doing that. Nobody has said anything about the corruption that they're finding.
Where is the verification? Where is the verification? Who collaborate with them? Where is the verification?
Thank you.
Anybody can put on this. Where is the verification? Who verified?
Oh, so you are saying there's a fabricator list he brought up?
Yes.
Yeah. That's what he's saying.
Okay.
But Mr. Jai,
we will prosecute all of y'all corrupt people.
Hey guys, I think the fact that Trump had not found any money.
Okay, let me end with a point. Trump sent email yesterday. Up to this point, he collected money from the American people. He's making money, deceiving them, collecting money from them. Trump has a media company. What I'm saying here in this country, You can't accuse somebody of quid pro quo and do the same thing. That's what I'm saying here. You should Trump. How can you compete with Trump if he is the president when
So
you ain't fighting
the information you just provided, Mr. Chad, has it been verified?
Yes.
Through Politico, they were taking 8 million. Politico was taking $8 million US through USAID. Through USAID. And none of y'all talking about it.
No.
Thank you.
We'll deal with y'all.
Mr. Jai, we are. It was a nice exchange, but let's go back to
you're gonna Sherry is boiling. Sherry want to get out.
Something about Liberia, guys. You see, Liberia, I will agree with everybody on that one that we are not yet ready in Liberia. In that country, something is wrong with us.
Let's hear from Mr. Sheriff. But with a question though, the president we have currently, and got way more experience. This might be a rich around public space in government. Got way more experience than Donald Trump. Got way more experience than almost over 60% of all of the presidents in Africa. And today, what do you think of people referring to his administration, under his administration, the country as a joke? He doesn't seem to know what he's doing. Matter of fact, he's not doing anything. And that's one. And the other part of it, other people that are trying to exaggerate mediocre achievement. What do you make of that, Mr. Sheriff?
Thank you. You see, I am really excited that people who said that we should give Mr. Boyka 1 year, after we said on this platform that even if you were to give him the next 99 years, he will do nothing, that today they've come to realize that the government under the stewardship of Mr. Boyka is a total disaster for the Liberian people. We are excited because we believe that when people see the truth, they speak against the ills, and government will be compelled to make adjustment. And unfortunately, we do not see it in this government. But that will not deter us from speaking truth to power. And that's why I want to really commend everybody when you're listening to all of our panelists here, including people who yesterday were saying, no, the man will do well again chance. Now all of us are on par. That is a good thing. It means our democracy now can be strengthened through these critical voices, because we are the people who checkmate government. We are the people who ensure that government play according to what they promise. So it's a good thing. Now, people are not talking about CDC here or Unity Party, but we all are talking about government. So that's one of the issues I want to really raise up. But to just state further, it is unfortunate. And like someone said, they are really disappointed in this government. In fact, the word disappointment is even, somebody would say they're using a cushion word to be able to describe their feelings about this government. The reason why I'm saying this is, if there is anything beyond dissatisfaction or disappointment, is what we should be saying. This is a government that came on the mantra of, according to them, rescue. Look at the budget of this government, the 2025 budget. Look at the budget of this government. If you want to dissect the budget, just take some key areas. Like, for example, look at the area of health. You know that health is a serious challenge in Liberia. And it's one of the areas that they don't look at whether you are Parliament, whether you are Unity Party, or you are wherever. All of us benefited, or all of us will benefit from the health sector. Now ask yourself, what is enshrined in the budget for health? When you look at the health sector, let's not look at the entire place there, but let's just look at JFK, for example. That is a major referral hospital for all Liberians, people living from the country with country. Ask yourself, JFK, what is in the budget for John F. Kennedy Memorial Hospital? You will be shocked and you will be surprised for just JFK. And when you look at what is in the budget of Mr. Boyka, the Ministry of State for Presidential Affairs, you are talking about $15 million. In fact, they have even exceeded that amount. It has been exceeded. They have exceeded it by far. But when you look at the major referral hospital, we don't want to put all the health sector together to confuse our people here. But just the JFK. The JFK, it is frustrating. The place Liberians go to. Today now, as I speak to you, there are people who are now held hostage in JFK. JFK are now become almost like Guantanamo Bay. They are now holding people there now. People go there to go deliver. They don't have money. According to them, they say you got to pay. If you get the money, they hold you. They seize you. They seize your child. You are there. If you go there for treatment, they will tell you your people have to go across the road to go and buy all of the medication that you need, including the surgical tools that they will need to carry on some operations on you. They will tell you go across, go buy this, go buy that, and come back. But look at today, what is happening. Mr. Boyka just returned from Addis Ababa, from the ECOWAS summit. Ask Mr. Boyka how much he spent. Pretty close to $1 million. Why our people, as I speak to you, in the health sector, let's even put the health one side, let's look at the education sector. In the education sector, we do not even have vehicle for public schools or for teachers. But Mr. Boyka can use $1 million or half to $1 million to go right to Addis Ababa. So why do we have, in times like these, right, when we have constraints in our physical, a policy, or when things not going right, let's try to bring it in. When things not going right in the country, our money is not looking too far. Whenever these things are happening, government will get sense, my people, what they can do is that they say, okay, we'll cut from here because we want to make sure our people will benefit. So if the person is supposed to get, the offer of the president is supposed to get about 10,000, we'll cut it down to 5,000. Okay, if our president is supposed to get maybe 8,000, we'll cut it down to something like maybe 2,000. Government can look for a way to be able to cut money so that the money that they will save, it will go towards the people. But it is unfortunate that in the midst of all of these things, with the drawdown of USAID funding in Liberia, with our budget, about 70 million plus has been slashed out. When you look at the National Election Commission, about 1.something million have been cut out, USAID support for the national NEC. But yet, look at how these people are spending money as if we are growing money in Liberia without any remorse. These people are not financially disciplined to discipline themselves. In fact, as we speak to you now, it is almost like Mr. Boyka has given these people the go ahead, go and steal. It is there, it is clear. This man said in Lofa County, he said, government official, we are appealing to you to be corrupt. He said it. It's not something that I'm making up the story. The stories are there. So these are some of the things that we are talking about. You have a government that have shown zero respect for the rule of law. Now, how do you encourage investors when the president of the republic is showing gross respect to the court? The most supreme area that all of us can run to, the court that do not know name, it do not know position or what have you. If the court can be disrespected by this particular president, today Liberia has become a laughing stock in the communities of nations. Few years ago, in fact, few days ago, I remember under the regime of President George Manneh Weah, His Excellency, Liberia was a nation that was enviable. Don't believe what I'm saying. Listening to McCarthy, the U.S. ambassador, said it, that the democracy of Liberia is enviable.
Thank you.
Today, what are we seeing? Liberia has degenerated into a chaos. Liberia now become a banana republic.
Thank you.
The budget is not even reflecting the government agenda to rescue the people. In the budget, you get 0.5 for at-risk youth. These people run campaign, they say, oh, just all over the place. But today, you will be surprised that the son of Mr. Boyka has now become the major drug dealer in our country, and nothing is happening. In a serious country, the president now, as I speak to you, his son will be behind bar. In fact, this president will be impeached because you cannot have Liberian dying and the president not doing nothing. Just now, the Lender Councilor just told us something. That something happened in New York. As I speak to you now, these people have been arrested because the life of Liberians are very, very important. But today, Liberians are dying and nothing coming for RIA.
The policeman when we get Gregor Como, he popping lip or more, he passing around the man doing content creator now. The man creating content. While Liberians are dying, and then we are not. Look, this thing, look, it's something that we should get angry. Can you understand? It's something that we should get angry because those of us in the diaspora, we are feeling the weight. Everything that happened in Liberia is coming right back on our shoulders. When the mothers are hungry, they call us. When children, school fees, they call us. Some of you are even supporting people that you don't even know from nowhere. You are supporting them. Then why we have these people, these junta controlled by Mr. Brecker using money like seriously like that? Look, Liberia should rise up against this particular tyrannic regime and send a strong message to Mr. Brecker. I do not support violence in Liberia. But again, it is the right of the people. All power is inherent in the people. We cannot sit down and be sugarcoating team, be talking there to say, he the Brecker, and this, that, and other thing. Look, Liberia need to rise up, and that's why we call our people to rise up, as in keeping with the law.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Derek, is it possible I can just say something just to a point?
Go ahead. I was going to go to Mr. Boda, but I'll come to you after that, Mr. Boda, please.
Okay.
Go ahead.
So, just real quick, I want Mr. Sheriff to know that everything he said, he was just being hypocritical because for the last 7 years, JFK has been in that same place. JFK has been in that scene for the last 7 years.
No, you are not there. You said you are coming to make a change. That's why you told the Liberian people. You said you are coming. No. Look, it is true now that there is a coming hypocrite on this platform. You said you are coming to make the change. Do not talk. No. You can't confuse our audience. You said no. We're not allowing you to cross me. We're not allowing you to confuse the audience. You said you are coming to make the change. You said you are coming to make the change. You said you are coming to make the change. Why you continue to compare? For what?
No. I mean, you need to protect me.
No. It's disingenuous for our audience. It's disingenuous for our audience.
I could have interrupted him when
he started talking. No, but we cannot allow this to continue. It's disingenuous to the audience. Like everybody has spoke, they have spoke theirs. You don't do this.
They give me chance. I have to make my point.
No. We can't allow you to do this.
You can't control the show. You are not controlling the show. They give me point. They give me time to make a point. You have to let me make my point.
You comparing. You came to rescue. Yes, sir. You came to rescue. Yeah. I'm sorry for intruding, but you came to rescue. Why are you in the business of comparing? You trying to compare here and you trying to rescue?
I waited for you.
Mr. Sheriff, protect the bishop. Let you give us his position. Go ahead, Bishop.
Yes, I was just trying to make a quick point, and you interrupted me. You can't do that. It's not.
No, but you continue to attack me. Everybody spoke. Did not attack. Everybody spoke their mind.
No. I am not attacking. What I'm saying to you is,
attacking me, baby. Hypocrite. And you are a hypocrite now. Because at the end of the day, you are comparing now. You're trying to compare when you say you can't compare.
That's exactly what you did. You said.
Trying to compare now.
Yeah, but
everybody
you said
nobody attacked me.
No. You came through undercover. You said you are now happy that everybody is saying what they should have said ever since. We should give people a chance. Listen, we have to give any government that come into power, we have to give them the opportunity. At least we are in February. It has been 1 year. So we have something now to say, let's compare. But as soon as the
you get people 1 year to steal from your resources, to steal from you. You get people 1 year to kill your citizens. You get people 1 year to damage the rule of law. Is that what you're saying here?
Bishop, please hold on.
Mr. Sheriff.
Oh, yes, sir. Let me put my tongue.
Yeah, wait, let me make my point. Let you protect me, my man. Yes.
Go ahead, Mr. Reed. Go ahead.
What we are saying here is that for the last 7 years or so, JFK has been in the same condition. Nothing has changed. If you're telling us now that we are now saying what you needed us to say, excuse me, brother, we have to give this government the opportunity to mess up. And we have given them 1 year. So considering what is happening,
Mr. Sheriff,
Joseph, look, man, y'all protect us, man.
I will give you the opportunity to respond, but please let's protect Bishop Reeves. He protected you when you were on the floor. Let's go ahead, Bishop Reeves. 30 seconds, please.
So what we're saying here is that we cannot be double-minded. We cannot sit down and speak on two sides of our mouth. Okay? From the last 7 years, JFK had been like that. For the last 7 years, we've had the police director have not done anything. All the police directors have not done anything. For the last 7 years, we've been having some of these major issues. So we shouldn't come here and make the thing look like it is just happening during Boyka time. No, Boyka, for the last 1 year, his report card, they have not done well. Considering other countries like Burkina Faso, 2 years, considering other, they have not done well. So I want somebody to sit on the show today and make the thing look like we have been doing well. All of a sudden now, Boyka government, nothing is happening. It's a joke. During the last 6 years, 7 years, it's been a big joke in Liberia, and we've been a laughing stock. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Bishop Reeves. Before I go to Mr. Boda, let me just say this: you're making it seem that prior to the last 6 or 7 years, JFK or the other institutions were way better. So I think it would be unfair to the conversation, which you say for the last 18 years, because we'll include Ellen administration in the same condition still existed for the likes of JFK.
Yes.
So let's be honest.
I agree.
Let's go to you, Mr. Let's come. I want you to respond to Prince, but I was going to give a challenge. I think Bishop Reeves already broke that challenge. I want you to respond to Mr. Sheriff in a time challenging without mentioning the last administration, without mentioning George Weah. I want us to talk about today the issues that exist in this government, the failure, the gains, and I want you to use that to respond to Mr. Sheriff, if you can. You're on mute.
Our current situation, we are in a, like I said prior before the election, I said we're at a crossroad. And Mr. Boyka, like we all learned from our, we understand he has been in government for a long time, and he served as, he was one of the first presidents in Liberia who served in the capacity as a vice president for 12 years. Arguably, you would think that he understood government and he knew it to the best and knew the situation in Liberia. But to our utmost surprise at today's date, he haven't proven to be that person that we thought he was. You know, that's my take on him. And the very institution we're talking about today is not a year-old situation. This thing has been there since our Civil War began. And it's unfortunate that we don't have a legislature anymore. We now have one president. So it makes it there's no checks and balance anymore, where you have the government working in union, but it's no longer. So there's a lot of things that is happening. In fact, everything in Liberia is deplorable. Government has not, there is no strategy on how we can move our government or our institution to another level. The hospital, there's no plan. What is the 5-year plan we have, or what is the immediate or long-term plan for any of our institutions? You know, so it's just disappointing to sit here and even try to measure that, hey, this was like that and this. You know, it's just a failure on all fronts from every government that we have come to see in the last 18 going on years. Because I wouldn't want to go back to dual time, talk about dual time, back to the time. So it's just unfortunate because we haven't done anything to say this is our goal forward. Our JFK is, like Sherry said, is our teaching hospital. That's a model of every hospital, every institution in Liberia when it comes to medical science. And if that is a failure to the institution, then think about the rest of the country. So I don't even know where to begin. It's a complete failure on every front to our society right now in our government. Government is failing a lot. I don't know, maybe they will turn things around in the next 4 years or whatever, but it's just not what I thought it would have been. At least make some move in directions.
Thank you, Mr. Boda. Yeah, consider Freeman before I come to you, Mr. Jai Winkin, you had a hand up. You wanted to respond to.
I just want to say,
and then I will hear from Mr. Brian. Then come to you, Councilor Freeman, if you don't mind.
I just want to say quick 2 things.
Go ahead, please.
One has to do with those who said President Trump is doing what he's promising. He promised to bring down
Oh,
prices.
we're going back to the conversation
One,
again.
I mean, that is not true. Prices are going up. Secondly, I wanted to.
Why are you carrying the conversation back?
No, I'm coming. I come to Liberia. I come to Liberia now.
Bring it on. Bring it on.
That was the major campaign. So that is not. It's not working. That's false. Who? The
Go
second
ahead.
thing about Liberia is this. I want to talk about what Prince said. Look, I go to Liberia every year. I spend a month. The JFK redemption. Luckily for some of us, we grew up in Newtown. We know how redemption was during those time. I don't want to go back there. But during weird time, I see rats. JFK has been, my sister's husband died in JFK. For even to go when we are in power, even to go see somebody there, you got to pay money to enter that place. To see a patient when we was president, I just wanted to bring that up. Like we bought medication the same way. Everything is being, and that time there was only one equipment to do X-ray or whatsoever, nothing else. The elevator nothing was working. I'm not backing Buckeye, but I don't want for us to deceive ourselves. You see that beautiful water that used to flow on the grass. The place was dark, nothing working. So in short, our government in Liberia is not ready. It's not about Buckeye unless we ourselves, Liberians, think about our country. Because all those guys we put in front that give us bag of rice, it will never solve our problem. We can solve this problem. Forget about bag of rice, which you think beyond bag of rice and select better leaders. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Jawin Kinwuya. Councilor Freeman, I know you wanted to chip in on this conversation, but I have a question. I have a question. If you can respond, if you can respond to it, because I feel like every now and then we seems to have this conversation, not just on this panel, but as a nation, we seem to have this conversation in a circle. We see this problem, the same condition as it is for these institutions. We go to election, talk about this issue. With the Liberian people make a decision, we come to a new administration, and then they look back at the previous administration and try to compare themselves with the previous administration. And I feel like we don't see how serious Liberia has been deplorable for a very long time. Like on how it affects the average Liberian, those people that can't provide for themselves, those people that are actually in abject poverty. So I want you to shine some light on that, and the condition is on the country, especially for Liberians that find themselves in the diaspora, that don't necessarily have to involve themselves with Liberia politics or the discussion, seems to just look at the country and just want to give up on it. Do you think we are at that point where things cannot be turned around, especially for this administration? They have maybe 4 to 5 years before another elections. Do you think we are at a point where the president, given his experience or his exposure, cannot turn things around for at least one Liberian to benefit? What do you think?
Look, I don't think all hope is lost. I think it would be preposterous to make that kind of leap. But I think it needs to start with civic education. I think as a whole, Liberians in the diaspora have some responsibility as well. The problem, though, is oftentimes when you try to get in, there are folks in Liberia that will push back. And the reason I find that is because they want to keep the status quo. By keeping the status quo, they protect their interests in Liberia. Oftentimes, they feel when you try to come in, your intent is to take their job. And so I think that's part of the problem. One of the reasons I think our people continue to make some of the same mistakes is in part due to the level of illiteracy in the country. And that helps those in position of power to maintain the status quo. Because if they maintain the status quo, then they can continue to perpetuate this whole idea of giving rights to the people, paying their school fee. Like Tai Wangwe put up a little thing he calls a rest stop, or whatever we want to call that. Such mediocre thing, right? But if they maintain the status quo, then they keep their so-called relevance. So I think we all have a duty. And until we collectively come to a point where we say, look, this country is in the wrong direction now. We got to do something. There will be pushback, but we too have to be defiant. And until we do that, Liberia will continue to retrogress.
Right.
Liberia will continue to deteriorate, and we'll all stay on these shows. I think for me, that's sometimes that's part of the reason it's so reluctant to have these kinds of conversation. Because here's what happened. When we have this conversation, we're engaging in an academic dialogue. And I say academic because it has no real effect. Those in position of authority in Liberia, they don't care about what we are saying. They hear it, perhaps, but they don't care because it has no impact. So the question then becomes, what can we do to really, infiltrate, if that's the right word, infiltrate the so-called system that has been the reason for which our people are lacking everything. Look, Joseph Boakai came into office, and I agree with Prince, and Prince, honestly, I see what Prince is saying, and I agree with him to an extent. But Joseph Boakai came to office promising all sort of stuff. Look, I personally sat with Boakai in his house, and he told me we're going to declare his asset, he would do this, he would do that. And to this date, it's such an embarrassment. So the question then becomes, all of us have a fiduciary duty as Liberians to play our role. And there will be pushback from those in Liberia, but perhaps we can do something about it, but it has to be a cohesive, coherent effort. And I think that's where the challenge lies for us.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Councilor Reeve. Before we take our first and only break, let me just highlight some of the comments here from those in the audience. Boakai said he was going to rescue Liberia. Liberia is not rescuing him. And one from that Marie Sokolo Scott, since President Joseph Nyeoma Boakai assumed office in January 2024, Liberia has experienced a series of human rights challenges and political crises that have raised significant concerns both domestically and internationally. Allegations of human rights violations, multiple reports have surfaced alleging systemic human rights abuses under the Boakai administration. The Panoramic Justice Group, a US-based watchdog, issued a report in January 2025 detailing incidents of extrajudicial killing. Again, guys, if you're following the conversation, please make sure you leave us your contribution in the comment section. And with that being said, let's take our first and only break. When we come back, I want for us to talk about someone on the show earlier mentioned that we do not have a legislature, unfortunately. The crisis that haven't been resolved and is causing serious problems for our democratic form of government, I believe. And I want us to talk briefly about it, and then we'll give you guys the opportunity to give us your closing, and then we'll draw the curtain to the show. But with that, let's take our first and only break.
Attention all organizations, NGOs, and social clubs in and out of Liberia. Are you tired of relying solely on social media to run your operations? An effective web platform is your most important marketing tool, and that's where Tiamat.com comes in. Hello, my Liberian people. My name is Sophia, and I want you to consider this. 53% of consumers do online research about an organization before talking to someone from that institution. That means not having a website could be costing you opportunities. Step up your game and establish a professional online presence. Introducing our web platform designed specifically for 501c organizations, small businesses, and political organizations, social clubs, etc. At Tiamat.com, we understand how important it is to make a great digital first impression, which is why we offer you all the help needed to develop, maintain, and host NGOs and small and big organization websites by giving you a full suite of services that includes automatic billing for members, membership and visitor portals, first-class design and functionality, and much more. The best part is, it only costs $20 per month. Upgrade your image today with our customized web design services. Visit www.tiamat.com to get started. This is a Liberian-owned business.
Introducing Suku Express, shipping from the USA to Liberia. offering pickup services from Maryland, Pennsylvania, Delaware, New Jersey, and New York. Suku Express is very reliable, efficient, trustworthy, and seamless. U.S. warehouse and loading dock is at 54101 Tacony Street, Philadelphia, PA 19137. Contact 267-987-6821 or 267-437-6463. Then in Liberia, at Dry Rice Market, Bannersville Road. Contact 0775-245-666 or 0555-594-53.
Hey. This is Grace, the CEO of the founder Suku Express. Parcel your stuff good, valuable stuff goes in a plastic barrel. You gotta shrink wrap, you lock the barrel, you gotta shrink wrap the barrel, protect your stuff. Boxes, useful, use. Any box taller than me, I can't ship it.
With Suku Express, your worries are over. Ship with confidence and ease. Thanks for doing businesses with Suku Express.
Celebrating the lives of our dearly departed loved ones is no easy task. That's why you become family the minute you walk through the doors of the Exodus Funeral Chapel. Exodus Funeral Chapel is deeply committed to helping you navigate your way through this difficult time. Our services are reliable, affordable, and professional. Call us, visit our website, or feel free to stop by in person for your consultation. At the Exodus Funeral Chapel, we believe in the dignity of your loved ones. Empathy and respect is the goal of our staff. Exodus Funeral Chapel. Empathy, respect, and dignity.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. If you are here with us, this is the Hard Zone, episode 9 of season 7. And guys, we left with our discussion on board, and then after I'll take your position on that, and after we'll draw the curtain to this. Again, if this is the first time here, this is the Liberia Radio and Television Network bringing another episode of the Hard Zone. We are here every Thursday, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So hopefully this will not be of last time here. Next week we'll be here again with another enticing conversation for you in Liberia and the diaspora. Guys, what's going on at the legislature? Earlier this week, I think I saw a video. Definitely saw a video from the legislature where some members of the Liberia National Police were instructed to damage the car of Yeke Koluba. And we're still seeing hints of the leadership crisis as it is. Representative Coon is being known as the speaker, or Speaker Kofa, the constitutional speaker, is no longer the speaker according to what they're reporting. So you guys have been following that development. Why does the issue still exist? How does it affect our democracy? Where do we go from here? What is the President Bouaka? What is his position on all of that? How does they get things done in that administration or in this government? All of that is on the table. Or we as Liberians, do we just stand and watch as our constitution is not being followed, is being ignored by our very legislature? Where do we go from here, guys? I'd like to hear your opinion on that, and then we will give you guys the opportunity to close on this show.
Yeah,
who's that?
Yeah, Prince. Are you starting from me? Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
yes, go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
I'm sorry for just intruding. You started with me, so I thought. But well,
true.
relative to your question, before coming there, let me just say this. Mr. Boyka should stop deceiving the Liberian people, or stop deceiving himself and think that he's deceiving the Liberian people. I want to ask a question. Nobody needs to answer. It's just a rhetorical question. Who dress up, put on their cologne, their cream, and every other thing before going to the bathroom? Who does that? Do you think it is normal? You go to the bathroom, you take your shower, come back before you dress up. You don't dress up when you finish before you go to the bathroom to go tiba. The whole asset declaration team of people that scheme from Mr. Boyka government. There's a complete scheme. What are they? Oh, yeah, man, suspend people, this, that, other thing. Why people talk about assets declaration? Why? When you look at the act that create the whole thing, asset declaration, the people want for people to declare their asset so that before you enter government, they must know what you get. So that at the end of the day, you will not enter government, then you start stealing the people money. So they want you to declare. It's supposed to be you declare your asset. You tell the people, say, oh, my boy, I get one shoe. The hair move from there. The other shoe I get, the he move. So everybody can know. Then when you enter in government now, the people will also know. When you leave in, they say, oh, yeah, then by the time you enter, you will get one shoe. Okay, now you get two shoes. What happened? How come? At least the people can trace it or know, say, oh, that you pay where you get, or that this other one. But look at this thing that Mr. Boyka is doing and think that we are foolish enough. After these people have spent good year with some months, they have butchered the constitution. The Bishop said, oh, get a chance. According to Bishop, he said, get a chance for them to make mistakes, get a chance for them to be corrupt, get a chance for them to steal. After these people have stolen enough from the Liberian people, Mr. Boyka now comes back to us. Like, you know, they kind of reverse idea. It comes back to us and telling us, oh, you declare as suspend people. This is just a bluff. We shouldn't listen to it. It's a bluff. Because if Mr. Boyka was serious, as he said from the very beginning, we get a clip here of VOA, you know, Voice of America and other area that the people declare as he said, we declare asset. Before they enter in government, they're going to declare their asset. But now what is happening? They get bluff. Let's just take it on the side. Let's just not even pay attention to that. But as it relates to what is happening at the House of Rep, all of these things are encouraged by Mr. Boyka. We saw how Mr. Boyka aided and abetted the whole confusion that is going on in Liberia. When this whole thing started, what did he do? He validated the illegal act of these criminals. I refer, look, it's painful when you see other nations going forward and you see our own nation with all of what we are investing in that country. Then you see our own people behaving like hooligans. Few group of people put themselves together, they say the majority, they're behaving like gangsters. But these things were encouraged by Mr. Boyka. Remember when they started their whole thing, who sent his official to go there and go report to these unlawful people that call themselves majority? It was Mr. Boyka. The first one that went there, that Mo Ali and that of the how you call public transport bus. They were the two people that went there before the majority block, according to them, followed by the finance ministry and etc. etc. And when this whole thing started, Mr. Boyka aided and abetted. The money that was placed in the budget for how you call Liberia Water and Sewer Corporation, that they plan to go take money to bribe these lawmakers so that they can remove a legitimate speaker. Mr. Boyka, who is the head of government, knowing very well that, look, everything will fall on you, everything will rise from your shoulder, he decided to remain mute, to keep quiet, to the extent that we saw him openly supporting these people by sending his ministers there. So today, what we saw, Kun doing is not a surprise. It is not a surprise. These are attitudes that are encouraged by Mr. Boyka.
Thank you.
Just for example, look at what is happening at the Ministry of Internal Affairs. Somebody who killed people during the election period. What did he do? He said a nephew that said go be minister here for Internal Affairs. Look at Queen Johnson, a sister who killed people on the. I'll get a video in our place. He tell her sister, say go to National Port Authority. So with all of these hula baloo that we are faced with, Boyka is to be held responsible because he is aiding, bedding, and supporting these people. So what Kun is carrying on, this gangsterism that Kun is carrying on, that Mr. Boyka has encouraged them to do what they are doing.
Thank you, Mr. Sheriff. Let's hear from you quickly, Mr. Boda.
So here's the thing. It's unfortunate that we have what is going on in Liberia, but this is a critical time for all of the political opposition in Liberia to make their voices heard. And these people, some of them need to be removed. They need to have that House vote of no confidence. And I think this is where we need leadership from the opposition group. All of the political parties need to regroup themselves and petition that people to remove these people from offices. The Constitution provides vote of no confidence. If you don't have confidence in people, you can remove them easily. You know, because Boakai can no longer be a neutral body. He is part of the conflict. He's not part of the body of that conflict. So there is no way he can mediate anything between the House as a leader, as the head of the country. The Senate has also done the same thing. So the only people that is left now is opposition parties, and the Liberian people cannot go and remove these people from that house. The dignity of that house is being destroyed. We need to have people remove a vote of no confidence. And that could be done through our political system. Our political leaders in the country need to mobilize themselves and educate the people on the danger and the damage they are caused to our constitution and our political system and our democracy. Other than that, we're going to have a chaos for the next 5 years.
Thank you very much, Mr. Boda. Before I come to you, Mr. Jawokin, we will actually have a video of the incident that happened with the representative or the lawmaker, Yeke Koluba. So let me ask my production team to put that video up, and then we'll come to you next, Mr. Jawokin.
Exactly what they are doing. They are damaging. Just come up with something out of it. Damaging the vehicle or representing Yaka Koruma. Damaging the vehicle. You continue to attack me. 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 You continue to attack me as a business. I'm only doing my job as a journalist. So Representative Koruma Vigo entering the vehicle of Representative Yaka Koruma. Entering the vehicle of Representative Yaka Koruma on the order of the majority blood speaker Richard Namekun. You can see the police officer is forcing. Though the card is off, the card is light, but an officer of the law is violating the law.
A member of the Liberia National Police, at the order of Speaker or Representative Kong, destroying the vehicle of the Liberian people that is being used by the representative from District 10, Moserado County. You saw the video, guys. Mr. Jawokin Wia, give us your take.
So it is very sad. Let me say that, to say the least. Look, there are 3 branches of government in Liberia. In our government, so-called 3 branches. A lawmaker cannot be the lawbreaker. He can't give order. He can't even enforce the law. So that is very disgraceful. But that's the same thing we are saying. The last time I was in Liberia, if you were to ask someone to tell you what is the role of our lawmaker, what are they supposed to do, they have no idea. So, as the councillor said, we need more civic education in Liberia. The problem we have in Liberia is that people still thinking that once they are in power, it is their time. that is still happening continuously in the country. It didn't start now. As nobody wants to think that they are working for the Liberian people. And that is the same reason why everybody is demanding titles so that they will circumvent their responsibility. As I said before, if you are already president of the country, it's a higher position. What do you need that way? What do you need excellent? What do you need honorable? If you are represented, you are represented. All these titles are meant to circumvent, to suppress the people. But what I probably say lastly is that only Liberians can solve this problem. Our leaders are disgraced. Like what's happening now, as I said before, between the speakership, the two parties involved, they are not fighting for improving the lives of the people. They are fighting for position. Someone is just hiding behind the constitutional provision to fight for their job. It is not about providing school fee. It is not about offering anything. As I said the other time, any of them can give, any of them can resign. It doesn't matter who is right or wrong, because it is about the Liberian people. When we continue up to this time, there will be nothing going on. So where is it? What is it? What is the love of the country? Who are they serving? They are not fighting to reduce their salary. Kufuor is not fighting to say, look, I am proposing for the reduction of our salary, and people will say no. That is not what he's fighting for. It is true that he's right, but he is not fighting for the Liberian people. He's fighting for himself. He's fighting for a position. The same thing with other so-called majority black. Both of them are fighting for position. They are not fighting for a Liberian. I want people to look beyond the obvious. It is not about who is right or wrong in this case. The Liberian people have not been served. So both of them are wrong, in my opinion. No matter
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Jawinkin. And before I come to you, Mr. Brown, and then Councilor Freeman, I was waiting, and hopefully the next few panelists will say it. And I think one of our panelists on here have actually mentioned that we haven't accepted democracy. We do not want that form of government. We have leaders that would rather hear all hail the king. And Mr. Jawinkin, I think a lot of people would disagree with you when you say both sides are wrong. Whoever does not following what's in the book that we call Constitution, I think that's the side that's wrong.
Well, because those who fighting for that, they are protected. None of them serving the interest of Liberian people. That's what I'm saying. None of them is pushing anything that if the other group were pushing it. Look, this is how I'm looking at it. I'll repeat that again. If Funati Kofa, because all of them they got budget in their offices to get personal scholarship. If you are fighting to say, look, we need to make it public for people to apply for this to be qualified, then he's fighting for Liberian people. Kufuor I agree that they don't get it. They don't get the number to remove him. But he's not fighting a cause of the Liberian people. He's fighting for himself. He's fighting for position. He's fighting for control. All of them fighting for control over the Liberian people, not for anything else. No matter how you interpret it.
Thank you again. We've not really accepted democracy because I don't think it's two sides. We have a legislature.
So what can he resign?
That's not what the book said. We've had this conversation.
No, because the Liberian people are not being served. Because above all is to serve the Liberian people. Why are you talking about book?
The court.
That's how those die. Those say he don't let them move. At the time when they walk in, he's dead. So what kind of law is that?
What you are asking says a really bad president, Mr. Weah.
No, it's not a bad president. Because the only thing we do in Africa is that once the piece of law is in our interest, we hold fast to it. But they are not pushing. Okay, like what the guy did just now. He gave order to damage the tire of another person, which is beyond his jurisdiction. He's not the enforcer of the law. That is wrong. But what I'm saying is that they are all power drunk. What they are fighting for is for power and control, not in the interest of. In America, people resign when they don't get the power again. They resign. When they don't have the vote, you resign. You see that in the West over and over. It's not about right or wrong. It's about the people, the country. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Brown, let me bring you in on this.
Yeah, thank you, Derek. So there's a lot of things that's going on there. I would just pick back to a few of the panelists just to kind of scratch on a few things that you kind of mentioned in that. First, I would start with Bishop. I think the video you just seen just now, me, you, and Derek were backstage last show, and you were saying, "Oh, you guys should come back to Liberia and do these things."
Backstage should be discussed.
And pretty much, I was gonna pick back to this video. This is what I was saying. This is what me and Derek were saying. You could have your business today, and then a lawmaker, lawless, get up today and say, "Shut that business down, I'll break that car." That's gonna happen, and absolutely nothing will come out of it. This is why most businesses out here, people that have money and want to invest, cannot and will not and should not go back there, at least at this time, because any lawmaker or anybody in a position will just get up lawlessly and say, "Shut that building down." They can break car. So imagine, come on, man, like me that will have a business there. What do you think can happen there? So these are the reasons that some people that you see nowadays, we don't have a lot of private sector. Liberia will get developed. Like we can see in Ghana right now. Ghana is developing. You in Ghana is developing because of a lot of private sector is going in. But the Constitution will protect these private sectors for one or two things. But in Liberia, we see today, lawmaker can just get up and do however they choose. Can you imagine? They don't even have an answer yet for this. The building up when they don't have a answer yet for a building up when. So will they have answer for your little business if you take your business in there? So these are the things that people from outside that have money or finance to go back in there and establish the people that want to, like me, I want to. But how can I do that if I'm seeing videos like this? If I'm seeing Yaga Koluba standing in the middle of the road and knocking a chest, anybody do anything else today, I will do something. I can't go back there to invest, or people that want to go back there and invest, people cannot do that just because of those things. Now, I'll leave it as that. Now, we'll talk about the situation with JFK and I would say University of Liberia. Mr. Prince, like I said, I would just pick back to what a lot of people say. It's hypocritical for us to blame Mr. Bwaka with this, right? This have to go back years. It have to go back years. Let's put George Weah inside. Let's be realistic with the conversation. Let's say all of them that do nothing good, because Joseph Bwaka have been there in less than 2 years. What's his name? George Weah was there for 6 years. It was even worse.
A point of correction, please. Joseph Numa Boyka was the first post-war government for 12 years. So to say he has been there, no. He was there for 12 years. Immediately after the war, he was there for 12 years. So these are the corrections that we need to make. So to say he started immediately after the war, he started the government for the new dispensation. No, let me make this correction. Thank you.
I will be specific.
Please.
I will be specific. As a president, Joseph Bwaka, as a president, I'll be specific. As a president, he been less than 2 years.
No. He served as president of the Liberian Senate also. Vice president 12 years, president of the Liberian Senate 12 years.
Mute this man. You cannot disturb the man while he's talking. Y'all mute Prince, man.
Let's protect.
You can't be disturbing the man while the man making a point.
Mr. Reeves. Let's protect Mr. Brown. Go ahead, Mr. Brown.
Again, I will say, as a president for the Republic of Liberia, right? He only been there under 2 years. I understand he had other positions, but we are talking in that direction, right? I never hear you say anything that CDC have done in regards to the budgets was for LU, and as a matter of fact, this government gave more money in the budget than the CDC government. Okay, so let's just be. I'm not saying you are wrong for what you're saying, but I'm just saying let's be realistic in this conversation. These are the only way we will see the development. If we can't, if we're not realistic, we're just talking one-sided. We can't go nowhere. But I'm done with that situation. It's you know what I mean, it is what it is.
Keep the rest for the closing.
I will say again to
Mr. Brown. Mr. Brown.
I'm not
Mr.
done.
Brown.
Man.
Mr. Brown.
One more point.
You went for about 5 minutes. Let's
no,
hear.
one more. I know I haven't.
Let's hear from. I want people to come at me for me to get in the same 5
Derek,
minutes.
do you know how much minute you get, Prince?
Let's hear. All right, let me give you 30 seconds so you can conclude. Go ahead. 30 seconds, then we'll go to Councilor Freeman.
So to Councilor Freeman, your point is very good. In we should educate our people in I forgot what you said about, but this is one of my plans, and it is something I really want to do. And I feel like us out here, that's one of the main ways we can be able to give back to our people and stop this way that they are voting. We are seeing the people don't know how to vote. The people don't know how to vote. So we have to go back there, and I think that's one of the main way we will be able to do it. But aside of that, I don't know what else we can do. Like, because like you mentioned, you go back there and want to be part of you want to be representative, or you want to be in the government, something will happen to you. But I feel like, if you go there and give your education and want to educate them how to vote and what they should do, not who to vote for, but at least how to vote and things like that. Well, thank you, Derek.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. And Councilor Freeman, let's hear from you. And this is not the closing segment of the show. I know Mr. Brown went all over. We're talking about the issue at the legislature.
Everybody went over. But
Derek, whatever I say will be my closing, and I can excuse myself to go and pray with my daughters before they sleep. But this is the Constitution of the Liberia's Constitution, right? See, the Constitution of the Republic of Liberia. And if you look at Article 1, I take my glasses when I'm reading closely. It says all power is inherent in the people. All free governments are instituted by the authority and for their benefit, and they have the right to alter and reform the same. And I will skip. I'll go further down. It says here, to cause the public servants to leave office and to fill vacancies by regular election. The people, the power is inherent in the Liberian people. And sadly, like Mr. Brown alluded to, we have kept our people in the dark. And I think that's part of the problem. For far too long, those in power and those in authority, the educated class, have, perpetuated this circle of native and so-called American Liberian. They've divided us essentially. And that the effect of that is that too many of our people in the war also contributed to that. Too many of our people are kept in the dark. And there are few, and those in position of authority, the power class, the few of those people benefit from that lack of education. Look, with regards to what's happening in the House of Representatives, it's sad and it's unfortunate. It creates this lack of confidence. The people don't have confidence in those who claim to be making the laws because they themselves are abusers of the law. The court is the Supreme Court engages in this wishy-washy thing. They don't want to come up front and say what the law is on a particular issue, and they give these lukewarm decisions, and everyone is misinterpreting the decision. And when COFA sent a bill of information and asked for clarification, the court sat on that bill of information. Under the law, the court should have heard that bill of information within at least 10 days. It's been several months now, they haven't done so. In fact, they sat on it so much so that the Capitol building was burned down because this side felt that he was a speaker, that person felt he was a speaker, and all of that confusion. And in fact, I said, and I can go as far as saying that the burning of the Capitol somehow rests at the feet of the Supreme Court. And I said that unapologetically. The court had a duty to settle the matter and settle it decisively. They didn't do so. The court made reference to a case on the late Johnny Lewis Supreme Court when Edwin Snow was speaker and they tried removing Snow. And the Liberian Supreme Court then said that No, the way in which you're trying to move snow is unconstitutional. You can't do it. This court, on the current Chief Justice, basically referenced the case, but did not actually go as far as saying majority group, or whatever you want to call yourself, your attitude, your circumvention of the law is unconstitutional. They created the problem in part. And the executive also contributed to that when the Minister of Justice clearly misinterpreted the court's decision, and followed by the executive branch basically giving the so-called majority group the go-ahead to say, well, now you're the speaker. We saw that the Senate actually endorsed that position as well. So there's a whole mess going on. And the problem of that is that it creates a lack of confidence from the people, the Liberian people themselves. Liberian people have no confidence in our system because everyone acting confused. So, but the bottom line is that the power lies within the hands of the people. What I would ask the Liberian people, I think it's time to actually rise up, like Mr. Sherry said. We need to engage in civic disturbance, if you will, right? And call the government to order. I think it's time we take a new approach. I'm not asking for lawlessness. I'm asking for a situation where you can demand change. We have not really engaged in that. I mean, the few times people say they're going to protest here and there, and then we see what happened to that. But we need to take a new approach. The government is there to serve its people, and if it's not doing that, then to step aside. I said before that I think it's time we take a look at this idea of bicameral legislature we have, where we have a House and a Senate, and they're not doing anything. Nothing they're doing. All they're doing is siphoning money to that branch of government. It's time maybe we revisit that and say, do we really need a system? Like you said, Mr. Derek, you said that we don't have a democracy. Perhaps we don't have a democracy, but maybe we can streamline it a little bit. I said, this system is not working. What can we do to fix it? I know I may be going over time, but the Liberian people have the power to actually demand change. And it's time we, as Liberians in the diaspora in Liberia, we begin to engage the Liberian people, the general population, to see how best they can actually bring about some changes in Liberia.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Councilor Freeman. And you said this is your closing. So again, I would like to say thank you so much for joining us on this episode and every other episode you bring a different angle to the show. And we appreciate you for your contribution tonight. And as always, again, guys, to the rest of you, I haven't taken you yet, Bishop Reeves. I will take your comment on your contribution to this topic, the issue at the legislature. And then I will start taking the closing remarks from the rest of the panelists. Go ahead, Bishop Reeves.
Now, you see, two wrongs cannot make a right.
I just knew you was going to go back to Mr. Brown point. Go ahead.
No. I just said two wrongs.
He didn't go to that one.
I have not said anything yet.
Not come to that one. I know you're coming, but go ahead with it.
I know where he's going.
Am I protected on this?
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I need to be protected here, please.
I apologize. Go ahead.
You see, the man just told you, you're the justice, you're the keeper of the law, you're enforcer of the law, you're dealing with us. So two wrongs cannot make a right. What do I mean by that? Right now, what's going on in our legislature? Fonadi Kofa is doing what he's supposed to do. Now, you have the other people on the other side trying to circumvent. Do you know that Fonadi then did the same thing 6 years ago? When I am telling you what I know for a fact because I work in that government. Fonadi Kofa was the one who handled the money to pay those lawmakers when they were going against Kabila Janet. They went against Kabila Janet unlawfully. And when some other people said they were not going to participate, they put those people in a doghouse and dealt with them big time. Fonadi was the one who had the money to pay those. Put me on record. I'm saying it. You push me, I'll go further. So now the thing has turned. Am I saying what Burgaden doing is right? No, it's not correct. So I said 2 wrongs cannot make a right. So they are wrong for what they're doing to Fonati them. Fonati them did the same thing in the last 6 years. Now, when I said in my opening, when I made a statement and said that, considering what is happening in Burkina Faso in 2 years and what is happening in America in 1 month, Liberia is a joke. This is what I mean by that. The legislature, if you look at since 1990 up to now, we have at least 1 or 2 generations, okay, that was born and do not know what the real Liberia look like. And from the time that generation was born, that generation have not been educated. So that generation is not the law, the power is in the hands of the people. And that generation right now, unfortunately, is in the majority. They are in the majority. Anybody can get any kind of small money. There is no integrity. There is no love for country. There is no loyalty. So that generation is the one that's holding. So if that generation say, oh, he will carry, they will carry him. Oh, Yaga Kolubada, he will carry, they will carry. Anybody who can pay them something, and they said that he will carry, they will carry. So they are putting all kinds of lawmakers in position who are not qualified. And so, yes, that's why we're in a mess that we're in. For the last 6, 7 years or more than that, they have not invested in education the way they're supposed to invest in education. Where are our engineers? Where are our engineers? We don't have engineers. We don't encourage these things. We are only, if you go and look at all the people who we have now today, so-called politicians, people who are who say they want to do civil engineer and not civil engineer, they want to do how you call it, environmental science, blah 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 blah. We are not being strategic. This government is not being strategic when it comes to education. They're not being strategic when it comes to how we can resuscitate this country and bring it back into play. So the 3 branches of government have issues. It's a big joke. We need to go back to the drawing board. Now, what is my solution to what I'm talking about? All of what I'm saying. My solution is every one of you sitting out over there in the diaspora. If this thing must happen, the diaspora have to get involved. And if you listen to Councillor Freeman, the diaspora have to get involved. We have to get involved in the education system. We have to get involved, even if we have to come in and do the protest or whatever we have to do. The diaspora have to get involved. If the diaspora get involved, listen, it's just like the apartheid. How many years it took for apartheid to shift? Any country that have gone through oppression or suppression, how many years will it take and what will it take? What sacrifice will it take? Unfortunately, because of the war, it will take the sacrifice of the diaspora to bring this problem to a head that will cause it for us to even start addressing it. It would take the diaspora. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Bishop Reeves, and thanks to all of you panelists. Now, at this point, I would like to come to all of you for your closing remark, starting with your closing statement. I know I was corrected to say that. I'd like to start with you, Mr. Brown, and then we will just make a circle back to Bishop Reeves. Go ahead, your closing statement.
So, I mean, I will still pick back on the on most of what I was saying in regards to Liberia. Now, a lot of things need to stop. You know, a lot of things need to stop, and I'm really appealing to a lot of people during this upcoming election. Let's try to see what we can do. Like Bishop Reeves said, let's go back and try to educate our people on how to vote. That's really what I really want to stretch on for now on how to vote. I don't know how we from the diaspora can help out in what's going on in Liberia, but it's a lot of lawless things going on, Bishop. Because a lot of us that want to go back home and help have families. So there's a lot of lawless thing going on. We are afraid of, other things that could happen, So that's kind of why. But I feel like, you said if we go there and educate, not in the lawmaker way, in anybody way, before they get intimidated or something. But if we can go there and educate these people on, my main concern is how to vote, because the reasons most of these representatives then are in this position for 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years, I would never understand. You know what I mean? Because one law they haven't made for the general public. Everything is just them. All the beef fight that the representative they're fighting for about today, everything is just about them. What should go into them? What should go into their pocket and stuff like that? So that's the only thing they're fighting for. Most of them don't even know the Constitution to begin with. So I'm appealing with Bishop Rifu as well. I'm appealing to we from here. Let's go back home and I think educate these people how to vote. And if we do that, then we could probably see change. And then we from here, then I want to go back home and help out in any way, shape, or form we can be able to do that. So, Barry, thank you for having me on the show. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. It's always a pleasure to have you on here. We appreciate your contribution as always, Mr. Jawinkin. Yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Brown.
I don't know who go in like brother protest, but we'll talk about that later on. Anyway, Mr. Jawinkin, we are. Give us your closing statement.
Up in that stuff because I know the place is very short time to talk, but I love writing. I'm a writer, and because of that, I have I've been making video songs that I wrote, lyrics that I wrote that AR sang. I placed that song, they play there for me because I don't sing, but I can write lyrics. But what I want to say here is this: you guys should play that in our chat there and give me your feedback about that. I want to say that too. But here is the part. Bishop talk about South Africa. But there was a political will with Pete Botha, who was the president then. It comes down to I engage in little things in Liberia here and there. I had a project there before. I'm working on other projects right now in Liberia. But no matter what we do from the diaspora, we need a political will. We need a presidency that will recognize that he is the big seven, and that is why, for those of you that call people Honorable Excellency, don't do it. The councillor read the Constitution; they are all called seven. There is nothing in the Constitution that says Honorable or Excellency. Stop using that word. I want to say that too. But our country, this going election, I voted for Gonglo because I believe that he was going to be better candidate for Liberia. We need that country to change. And in order for it to change, that will begin with the presidency, who will not see himself as a seeming God. For Liberians that always say, for those of you in America, what have you done? Well, we in the United States, we send money to Liberia every month or every week, whatsoever. Without that money, there will be no Liberia because no money going there. You don't get money from anywhere. So it's part of the support aside from investing in Liberia. I want people to understand that too. Because the people that we are helping in Liberia, they are Liberian citizens that the government is responsible for, but the government is not doing anything about that. So we'll do that. For those of us in the United States or anywhere else, we are here because our country, Africa as a whole, failed us. That's why we are here looking for livelihood. But if we got a better environment in Liberia, we'll all come home. For those of you, even though there is no election time now, as the councillor said, we need to rise up. When you tell somebody to rise up, they will say, oh, police will beat them. But I'm pretty sure, I know very well, that time we are did well, despite the people still demonstrated. That showed that people were serious. The international community were involved. God will not come from heaven to solve our problem. It is only Liberians, the way we engage both at home and abroad. So my appeal to everybody is that we should all participate. Whichever way we should speak out, we should demonstrate, Those of you in power, you are lawmakers, you are not God. You are working for the people. So you try to resolve the issue of leadership. Funadi Kofa, you were elected as a representative. For God's sake, whether you are right or not, put the country first. It is done in the West too. People here resign, even though they are right, but they serving their people. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Jai Winkin. We had for, again, your contribution here. You're the audience panelist here. So, of course, we appreciate your contribution as always. Let's go to you, Mr. Boda. I stand to be, I think, yeah, Mr. Jai Winkin, we have the audience panelist here. Because I know Mr. Boda will correct me if I'm wrong. Mr. Boda, go ahead. You're on mute.
So I think we all are speaking to the fact that we are in disarray in Liberia. The entire country is in disarray. In terms of leadership, structural, the hierarchy of our political institution is in disarray. And I think it's about time that every civil society in Liberia and outside of Liberia to speak truth to power. Because for so long we've been mute, we've been quiet, and because of that, people are just doing whatever they can. And these guys who are representing themselves, not the people, because I think if they were representing their constituents, they will understand that the gravity of the situation that they carry on in the country. And secondly, I will squarely place this whole thing on the head of Mr. Bwaka himself. I think this is a playbook, and his playbook has backfired on him. And there is no way out of it now. And they have created this stalemate in the country. So the best way, or like I said earlier, is to rally our people in the political subdivision. The people themselves need to rise up to get these people out of their way. And the political institution, the political parties, civil groups, churches need to affront these people with our actions. If not, you're going to have this stalemate for the very longest time, because this is not going anywhere. Fonati is not going to give it out. And Bwaka then cannot give it out because they already screwed up. They already accept Kun to be that so-called, I don't know what, de facto speaker. So you can't run away from your shadow. So that's the situation we find ourselves. And the only way out is the Liberian people themselves have to stand up to these people and remove them by vote of no confidence. If you don't do vote of no confidence and keep more of these people out of that house, you're not going to have anything done for the next 5 years from that house. All you're going to have is a rubber stamp. And if that's what we want, then we'll give it another 6 years and wait for another time to come. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Martin Boda. Let's hear from you now, Mr. Prince Sharif. Give us a closing statement, please.
Thank you. Thank you. Let me say thanks to the audience, in the comment section. We want to recognize all of you. Dr. Scott Wilson, thank you. Sis Hawatote, all of you, Kelvin, and every other person, thank you for, the comments and for carrying on the discussion. Really do appreciate it. Thank you. But, let me start first of all by debunking this information that is fake, misleading. It has no iota of truth in it from the bishop, insinuating that, during the past regime, it was Honorable Fonati Kofa who, in fact, was the, I don't know where I should say, the distributor or the financier of removing Honorable Cabinet Janet. I think that statement is far-fetched, it's far from the truth, and it's something that, we must debunk immediately. So that is not actual, it's not factual. I think it's just a political statement that was made. The second issue here has to do with what we are seeing in Liberia. From a traditional background,
I'm from. The parent in the home set the example, set the tone for adult chaos, peace, hard work, etc., etc. From the very beginning, the tone that Mr. Brecker set is where we are today. This is why we see things happening the way it is happening. During the campaign, we also saw what happened in Lofa, when Francis Sakila Nyimale issued a statement and telling these 800, they call themselves 800 Brigade for Brecker, that they will lynch anybody that stand in front of them or any opposition. It did not only stop to just mere words, but we saw action where Tamba Momo, a sedition, was murdered in a broad daylight by these people. Up to now, nothing has been said about it. We saw Joshua, we saw the brother also in Nimba. If this government was a serious government under Joseph Juma Brecker, he will immediately launch an investigation in the violence that occurred during the campaign and make sure that people are brought to book. And I want to say thanks to all of us panelists on this platform. I think tonight I'm seeing a different vibe because I'm seeing everybody is speaking in the interest of Liberia. There's not much talking about Unity Party, about CBC, or what have you. And I think that's the way it's supposed to be. Now, if tomorrow the CDC comes, we must do the same. Because at the end of the day, we are the ones, directly or indirectly, who are feeling the pinch of everything that is happening. Because of the action of the lawmakers, do you think a serious investor will want to invest in Liberia with lawlessness? Like my brother Brown was saying, when investors look at the climate and say, well, when a lawmaker, can you imagine another lawmaker he passing around with, waiting in a car, maybe that man get cutlass in a car, he get knife in a car, he get all kind of illegal thing in a car, ready to unleash terror on the people. So when investors look at these things, they say, what? But then our country is lawless. And the people who are supposed to keep the law, the people who are supposed to ensure that the law is implemented is behaving like this, then it is scary. The Supreme Court that is supposed to speak to this madness from a few group of people, they've chosen to keep silent. Somebody will go somewhere before he say, oh yeah, the thing with me, the thing with men in our ruling was that the people the illegal, the other one illegal. So the Supreme Court said have become silent. And I want to say this, Liberians, we are not promoters of violence. No, we don't promote violence at all. But we promote the right of people to stand up and speak against ills in society. And that's what we are calling on Liberians to do. That's what we are calling on Liberians to do. Because at the end of the day, you are the direct one that will be either positively or negatively, affected by this. Yes, we will be affected, but you are the one that will be affected. And we cannot sit and see these things happening. For people to want to blame the CDC government, the CDC government, the Unity Party government was the post-war 12 years government that received all of the support. According to Mr. Brecker, he made it very clear that he squandered opportunity. Or the man who squandered opportunity, 12-year opportunity is squandered. The man who can't face, then you blaming the man who can face things. And the people guy was said that one day today, some of our people, they were convinced negatively to vote against the government, but today they are now seeing it because people say, oh, that we are the problem. Oh, that we are the men who were there and told you, the Liberian people, that he squandered opportunity. You say, oh, the man coming to be the savior. Look, can you imagine? We're going to now 2 years of this man regime. Look at what is happening. Motorcyclists now are being killed in Liberia. The citizens are dying without any word from this government. Then we still get police director Gregory Como, content creator Ping Labor in Liberia, say police director, and Liberians are dying every day. Then we are complacent. Liberians, you're sitting down, you look at them, they've been killing your son, your daughter, they are sitting down, you're looking at him. Gregory Como right now, there should be a continuous, non-stop protest against Gregory Como. Not to destroy any property, no, but Liberians should not gather, because why is it that these people are there? They are there to ensure that the lives of Liberians are protected. But if you have a police director where every day they are police killing people, and robber killing people, they're Gregory Common State saying that he wear black clothes with different flair on it, passing around. He said that he did. What kind of problem for what's saying? And there's the reason why I want to thank those who are on this platform, because I'm seeing a different approach. I'm seeing a different approach forever. And that's what we're supposed to do, to keep these idiots' feet to the fire. To keep this barbaric regime, how you call collaborators, feet to the fire. I do not hate Mr. Boyka. I'm from Lofa in Grand Cape County, born in Mosorado. So you must know the relationship. But we must speak against the ills in society. If we want a better Liberia, it must start from somewhere. Let us start to compare. Somebody can say, like, compare Biata to Boyka. No, let's stop this. The man that is there now told us that he's coming to make changes. This was the man who had fun here and say, we're talking to Mark Zuckerberg. You're talking to Mark Zuckerberg, how you call that? He said, sorry, how you call it? Elon Musk. Today he has taken over. Where are his friends? This was the man that told us that they will bring 280 something yellow machine. Where the yellow machine is? These people were brave enough to take $22 million on road project. They eat it through. Nothing came for inside. Then we stay happy. These were the people who told us that they were going to transform the system. When President Weah left the electricity, it was at 113 megawatt. They made Kanja in the period of less than 2 years, you reduce it to 7.5. Oh, from what the man who say incompetent level at 113, you bring it down to 7.5. As I speak to you now, the rationing current. Peaceville, if we do roll call now, Peaceville people, y'all get current. You hear all of them talking, say no, we not get current. Something which is very, very viable to the health sector, to security, to education, to everything. Today, look at, you fail to take on your responsibility to pay bills. You say President Weah was incompetent, but we pay our bills, including the bills that we made there for you, we pay it. So what I'm saying in short is that Liberia has gone back to the dark days. And those of us who have the opportunity to be on platform like this, where we can listen to people, people will be able to hear us. We must do the needful by correcting these people. These people came on a mission to deplete our resources. They are here on a mission to enrich themselves. And these criminals will hold them by their tracks politically, intellectually. We must jack them up. We must do a lot of photos. We must knock them down politically, intellectually. We must ensure that we expose this criminal. And sadly, some of our people who left from the United States here to go to the system to transform the system are the people who are damaging the system. Look, for example, Sylvester Grisby. They may collected 600,000 for poor people money. Say, you got me back car for inaugural program. Up to now, you gave me a car. Look at Jeremy Pia. Look at what is happening in Liberia, in a poor nation. When you leave from abroad to go and serve in the government, the people gave you $45,000 for resettlement fee. In your own country, they gave you $35,000 for resettlement fee. My people, then Liberians are suffering. Then Liberians cannot afford to go to the hospital, no public transportation, nothing. The system is just damaged. As I speak to you tomorrow, we see another battle on the street again. And robbers are terrorizing our people. Then you still get police in the country. Then you get Gregory Common moving from one area to another. Liberians, I will end with this particular song from Bob Marley. Emancipate yourself from mental slavery. None but ourselves can free our mind. If you do not speak against the ills, now, Eden, thank you, my brother, for giving me the opportunity. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr. Sheriff. And before we take our final panelist for his closing statement, we'll bring a brief announcement. The Liberia Associations of Pennsylvania, LAP, and the Union of Liberia Associations in the Americas, ULAC, welcome you to a town hall meeting on March 8th, this Saturday, on March 8th, which is on Saturday, with the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, Jeremiah Cone, at the Victory Harvest Fellowship International. The address is 2536 South 69th Street, Philadelphia, PA 19143. And for more information, please contact Alfonso W. Yenu, Chairman, Planning and Organizing Committee. And we'll have to fly on our page again. The Vice President will be here for a town hall meeting on March 8th of this year. Again, that will be under the LAP and UN Association. Again, the Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, Jeremiah Cohn, will be here for a town hall meeting on March 8th, 2025. Let's now hear from you, Bishop Reeves. Give us your closing statement, and then we will draw the curtain to this episode.
Well, it's always a pleasure to be on this show. Let me just start by saying, I want all of you to know that I could not come on the show during the George Weah government to say certain things because I worked in George Weah government for the 6 years. And I work at one of the highest positions. So if I sit on the show now and say something, Prince Sherry, don't come tell me you want to debunk. Because we're not just speaking from DC. Yes. So when you hear me say Fonadi Kofa, and I say put me on record, Fonadi Kofa, George Weah gave him the money. He paid the representatives, the people who were voting against Kabina Jane. He paid them. I say so. Okay? So don't come and debunk anything as if to say you have facts and you know what you're talking. You know what you're talking, brother. Now, we couldn't come on the show to say certain things because at that time, yes, we work for the government. So you can't speak against the government that you work for. This particular government.
So then where is the value? If it is here in the United States, Bishop, you will do that.
Please protect me.
If it is here in the United States, you will do that. You will be in the system and you will condemn the system for the system to get better.
Y'all protect me. We don't do that. Let that man keep quiet.
Mr. Sheriff.
Why you can't protect me?
I'm protecting you. I'm giving you your protector, Bishop Reeves. Go ahead.
Yes, and I'm saying this because I need you to understand something. Look, you cannot be in a government and come and speak against the government. You can't do that. And so I purposely did not do it. All right? I'm not there. This other government, I don't want to be there. And that is the reason why I can sit on the show and freely speak my mind. You're
not speaking.
My man, this thing is not correct, my man. This thing is not correct. All the trash you were talking, I kept quiet and I didn't say anything. I did not interrupt you. Why are you jumping in? I mean, I expect you to be more mature than this, my man. This is just a talk show. I expect you to be more mature. So please, hold your horse. Let me finish making my point. You spoke for a long time. Nobody said nothing. Who told you all of us on the show agree with what you were saying? We didn't agree, but we waited for you to finish. Yes. So what we're saying here, and the more you do that, you just distract people from the place that they're supposed to go. Listen, I want you to understand that right now in Liberia, we need to find solution to the problems. Because if we go back and talk about all the things that happened in time past, and as if to say everything that is happening now never happened before, you are joking. We need people right now. I told you, I said the solution for what we're going to. Let me just go to the solution and just forget about that boy because he understand what you're doing over there. He's trying to run propaganda so they can come back again for another 6 years. You're joking.
So there's not an issue of propaganda, Bishop. It's the issue of criticizing.
We're making sure.
No, Bishop, you constructively asking for an intervention.
We are making sure that people who are not
Bishop, in the US here, if there are issues, you will point it out in an organization.
We are making sure
that people. Bishop.
Mr. No. We don't do that at this segment. At this segment, let's protect Bishop, and then we'll draw the curtain to this episode. Go ahead.
We are making sure that people who are not competent, they will not come by in power again. If you are not competent, we will not sacrifice ourselves. That's the reason why we are appealing to the Liberians in the diaspora. Because I live in the diaspora. I live in Maryland.
So you are not competent while you are working in the government? You are not competent?
Mr. Sheriff.
Look, I think Derek, y'all don't want some others to come back on the show. because you're not protecting us.
I'm sorry.
If we are cordial enough to wait for this man to talk his nonsense, why he can wait for us to finish saying what we're saying?
I agree, Bishop
We
Reeves.
are cordial enough to wait for the man. So y'all keep letting the man sit down and just be interrupting people here for what?
You're protected now, Bishop Reeves. I apologize.
You
for
have
that.
said that thing for the last 4 times since I've been talking.
Accept my apologies. It's the last time, please. Go ahead.
We can't have this. You see? So what I'm saying here is that the Liberians, I am in the diaspora. I have my church in the diaspora. Shut up over there. You took off how many minutes when we're talking? Listen, when I was I lived in the diaspora myself, okay? And I was able to sacrifice and come to Liberia to start doing something in Liberia. So my point now is, it would take us Liberians who are in the diaspora to be able to start making inroads in Liberia, in the area of education, in the area of training our people, in the area of business. Listen, if we are going to wait for any system to change, the people in the system are not capable of changing the system. So it's not going to happen. The people we are depending on to make rational decisions to change the system, they are not okram enough to do it. From the lawmakers to the executive to whoever you can talk about, they will not be able to do it. So if they are not able to do it, we are the ones who have to start making that sacrifice. That's why some of us are making a sacrifice now. I'm in Liberia, right now I'm in Ghana, and we're traveling back and forth to see what we can do in different areas, in the area of business, in the area of teaching, in the area, we are traveling back and forth to make sure that we do these things. And so my appeal is to the Liberians in the diaspora. We need to come home. Last but not the least, I want all of you to know that we also voted for Donald Trump to be the president of the United States of America.
You see, these are people who can damage the system. You were there, according to you, they were wrong. No.
They show that everything that he said he's going to do, he's doing it. We are cleaning the corruption, the corrupt system. We are cleaning everything. And I guarantee you, yes, some things will happen, some struggle will come through and all of that. But at the end of the day, our system will be clean. Europe will also start looking at what's going on. It's a shame to see that Liberia, all these years, has still been taken from USAID. With all the gold and diamonds that we have in Liberia, the iron ore, the uranium that we have now at commercial quantity, all of those minerals we have, we are still sitting there and waiting for US aid to come to Liberia. Thank God they finished cutting it off so we can go back to the soil, so we can go back to education, so we can do what we need to do and stop relying on people. Other countries around us are looking into themselves to take what they have to educate their people. We also can do the same thing. I want to thank all of you for being on this show, and my appeal to this panel is that we should please protect us so that we can enjoy the show. Please let all the if you are a child and you can't keep yourself and you're not mature, then don't come on the show. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Bishop, for that.
Excuse me, if we can get about 10 seconds, to just make a statement, get a Bishop almost about 15 or 20 minutes, at least.
Sheriff, you know the rules of the show.
No, I know, yeah. Even in
y'all shut that man off. Y'all shut it off, man. Y'all shut the man up.
You know the rules of the show.
Y'all shut that man up. And I think Mr. Anderson is doing the thing for
in 5 seconds.
Yes,
shut
that man up. Let that man keep quiet over there. He ain't got nothing to say here tonight.
Thank you to all of you. Let me say thank you to all of you.
Mute the man microphone. Mute the man. No 5 nothing. Let the man sit down. Mute. He says closing statement. We gotta close.
You're not protecting me. You're not protecting me. You're just accusing me of not protecting you. Again, guys, let me thank all of you.
How can Bishop be part of the system? He said the system down with the people
got the man microphone on. Y'all corrupted
the system.
Still got the man microphone on. Y'all mute the man. Then you will be protected. You don't get it no fat nothing. Nothing. You get it tonight. Go home and go sleep.
5 seconds, please.
Nothing, no fast, nothing for you. We finish, we close the show.
Please. Hold on one
They
second.
show enough for cheering. They show
Yes,
for
sir. Just 5
mature people.
seconds. I just want to.
Mature people, enough for cheering. Derek, close the show.
Yeah, 1, 2, 3, 5 seconds, please, sir. 5 seconds.
Welcome to you, Mr. Sheriff. I can't break the rules of the show tonight.
Yeah, no, I want to treat you. Just fast. I know you can't break the rule. We always say,
No, we're not giving it to you. We're closing. You have made your closing statement. You are done. I've also made mine. I'm finished.
The bishop was giving an unlimited time. Unlimited time he was giving, you know, to say what he unlimited time. And everything that he said,
you have unlimited time. All I'm not saying you were talking over there.
He indicted himself. The bishop indicted himself. That's why
we heard all that trash you were talking. The bishop indicted himself.
We'll be back next Thursday, same time, same network. My name is Derek Yale. Just as a final announcement, remember the date, March 8, 2025. The Vice President of the Republic of Liberia will be in Philadelphia at the Victory Harvest Fellowship. Until the next show, the next episode, remember, this is LRTN. My name is Derek Yale. I'm here with some the esteemed panelists, Mr. Sheriff, Mr. Boda, Bishop Reed, Mr. Brown, and Mr. Weir. So, guys, wherever you're watching us, thank you for joining us.
he just don't get it for 1 year to be corrupt, according to what he said on the show. 1 year for the people to be corrupt. You see, the system damage the people. They are not representing the people.
I can see myself in the photo post. What happened to the photo? Now I can see myself in the photo post. The people that were laughing at the photo, now the people that I see shining in the photo post. I post for the photo, but I can see myself in the photo. What happened to the photo? Now I can see myself in the photo. The people that were laughing at the photo, now the people that I see shining in the photo. Baby, what happened to the photo? What happened? Are you ready to tell you all the photo? Now I can see myself in the photo. I was standing right down there in the photo, but now I can't even see my shadow in the photo. Where the blah in the photo? So I got the money I see in the photo. They say your camera over door. They say your picture was not clear. If your picture will be all clear. Now the reason why they went and took the picture different place. But now I see the pussy in the photo. Talking said I didn't want enjoy in the photo. Where were y'all when we were in the photo? Pussy in the ring.